Hello, San Angelo. I'm Tessa Koskovich.
And I'm James Bellini.
We have an update on Longhorn Steakhouse, and the Western Roundup is tomorrow.
But first, we have Carlos Carillo with San Angelo Animal Services in studio. We'll get into that interview right after these messages from Jim Bass and Carpet Tech.
Save big on new and used cars and trucks at BassBunch.com.
When anyone needs a new car or truck, where do they go?
That's easy, BassBunch.com.
What? It's BassBunch.com.
Everybody knows BassBunch.com.
BassBunch.com. Did I hear right?
There's only one place, BassBunch.com.
If you want to save a bunch of money, the only place to shop is BassBunch.com.
My name is Cade Simmons. I'm the site manager here in San Angelo. What matters to our customers, I believe, is what we say is CT quality, CT experience, just making sure their needs are met, taking care of their home like it was ours. You just have to keep thinking of, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So just making sure you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of, and just knowing that they can rely on us, I think, matters to them a lot.
Welcome back to James Bellini here with Carlos Carillo.
Yes, sir.
He is with the Animal Services here in San Angelo.
Yes, sir.
What is your official job title?
My official job title is I am the Animal Control Officer Supervisor.
All right. So what does that job entail?
My job entails training the officers to patrol the city and make sure we try to get stray dogs picked up or any other animal that may cause some issues. And our number one job, though, is rabies control. So if somebody gets bit by an animal, that's a priority to make sure we do reports on that.
Yeah, because rabies is fatal.
It is fatal.
It's a fatal disease.
There is no cure for that. Yes, you're correct.
So if you get bit and you don't get it taken care of right away, you're in trouble.
It is possible, especially if it is a rabid animal. That's why we get called. We make sure we go to the call and make sure we do an accurate report on it. And if we need to test the dog or the animal, we'll go forward from there.
And I guess one of the big things that the city council meeting was there have been 58 dog bites in San Angelo since the beginning of the year.
Yes, sir.
That's one every other day, pretty much.
That's correct, yes, sir.
That seems like an insane number of dog bites.
It is a bit high, unfortunately. It is a little scary to think about it every other day. And it's just education that people need to avoid trying to get bit by these animals.
Well, that's why you're here today, man.
Yes,
let's talk about educating people on how to maybe approach a dog or not approach a dog, or when to approach a dog, when not to. So let's kind of talk about that.
Yes, sir. So what we're seeing on these bites is children that get bit. Usually it's by a dog that they know. It's a family relative's dog. And we need to teach our children not to approach a dog. Ask permission first. Say, hey, can we pet your dog? And if they say yes, educate them to approach the dog in not in an aggressive manner, slowly. Put your hand out, let it smell, preferably a fist, not your hand out, because don't want to bite the hand. Put your fist out, let it smell it, get comfortable. And the dog will show you if it's got raised ears, the hair's up on it, growling obviously, the tail's not wagging very much, it's kind of straight up. Hey, this dog's showing signs of aggression or it might be anxious. Let's back up a little bit. Once it's calmed down, or you can tell that the ears are relaxed, it's actually wagging its tail, kind of friendly, then hey, it's relaxed. Start petting it gently. This gently in the shoulders and the chest. Don't go for the head, because that's where the teeth are. In case something does happen, you're not by the teeth. And then gently, pet the animal on the back, on the chest. And another thing that children know is they'll pull on the hair, or they'll pull on the tail, pull on the ear. Let's teach them not to do that. Say, let's show some caution. Same thing with adults. We do the same thing. Kids also sometimes, we've had to get bitten. They were coming in with the dog, and they just, landed on the animal. We treat it. It's not a stuffed animal. We got to teach our children not to be like that with the animals.
Right.
For adults, I know we all want to help the dogs, but if you see a dog out there, call a professional. Call us, or maybe a rescue person, that has tools to approach this animal. The adults go up to the animal. They don't know it. They put their hand out, and a lot of them get bit in their dominant hand, the right hand, because they're reaching out to grab it. This dog doesn't know you. It could be scared. We don't know if it's injured, what's going on with the animal. Don't reach out to grab it like that, because that's where you get bit. Call us right away. Let us know what's going on. And also maybe have some treats on hand, because the other thing is, let's say you're walking out and you get approached by an animal out of nowhere. Don't run, don't scream, don't panic, because that's going to alert the dog and he might get agitated. He might chase you. Try to walk away slowly, get somewhere safe, and then call us right away. And if you go out for walks, have some treats with you or something to protect yourself, because you just never know. But the thing you don't want to do is just try to get that animal, start touching them, grabbing and pulling on them, because that's how you get bit.
This thing, I work FedEx. I had a dog. I've never been bit, but I've been rushed.
Yes, sir.
And I think I carried treats on me at one point, but I stopped, and now I'm not working there as much, so I don't anymore. But I do know that
you're not
drivers will have treats on them.
It does
just
help something,
in case that happens.
something to keep them at bay a little bit. That way you have that little time to get away. But and if it does happen, they start approaching you. These animals know. Don't try to show fear. Make yourself look bigger. Yell at them, and hopefully they'll back off. I've done it, and they backed off every time. But it might not happen every time. Heaven forbid you get bit. A lot of the damage for people comes not necessarily. The bite is causing, of course, always damage. But when you start ripping away, that causes more tearing.
When it starts tearing.
Like I said, I don't want anybody to get bit, but let's say it does happen.
I mean, we just had the animal services
yes,
control
sir,
officer get bit.
Mr. Bias.
Yeah.
Kind of like with children, feed the bite. Go towards the animal, feed the bite, and hopefully he'll release. Because his mouth's not getting much wider, and then he'll let go. But a lot of damage comes from when you start pulling away. But
I think that's just instinct, too. Maybe
it is.
Just to pull instead of...
And you don't want, like I said, you don't want the situation to happen. But if heaven forbid it does happen, and of course if it's more than one dog, another thing recommended is turn into a ball, and hopefully you get, to protect all the vitals. But of course we don't want that to happen. Of course we're trying to prevent that.
Right.
But like I said, carry some treats, maybe some kind of protection. Everybody's different what they want to carry, but just maybe, like I said, a treat. But call a professional. Don't try to touch this animal or catch it.
You think, I can take a dog, but
people think that. A lot of people
it could
think
be a 70, 80, 90, 100-pound dog.
From what I've experienced from these dogs, no, it is. You're not going to get them off as easy as you think they are. And then, like I said, it's an animal. People forget that, and they're very powerful, and they don't know how to say, "Get away from me, leave me alone."
Well, I think you got
they
one
growl,
dog.
bark, or
you
bite.
had a pack of dogs like that.
And that's the thing. Yeah, a pack of dogs, especially, like I said, some people want to help the animal. Well, I'm going to help them off. I said, but that is a dangerous situation. Call us right away. We'll assess the situation. We'll set traps out, dart, whatever we got to do to get this animal. But don't approach the animal, especially if in the pack. You don't know what's going on with that pack.
Right. What's the phone number people call for dangerous animals?
For the shelter, it is 325-657-4224. We're open for now. We're taking calls from 7 till 6.
Okay.
And if it's an emergency, they call the police department, which is 325-657-4315. That's not an emergency, and if they need us, they'll dispatch us to go to that call.
All right. But I guess there have obviously been emergency calls for dogs as well.
There have been quite a bit of calls, and we go that. Like I said, that is our number one job is to stop the spread of rabies. So we get a call about a bite, we'll immediately go to it. Now, it's up to the citizen. Like I said, sometimes they don't want to participate on the report. We can't make you, but we do suggest that you report it and make a report. That way we can follow through with it, make sure a dog's not rabid. Of course, but it's not just dogs; it's also cats that could bite you. Cats are a little different, though. They can scratch and do different things because it's a bite or a scratch because rabies is transferred to saliva. A lot of people think it's blood, but it's saliva that it gets transferred through.
Just think my dad got bit by a cat way back when, and it wasn't any issue at first. The next day his hand swelled up. He was in the hospital for 3 days because of it. Like
people don't realize
it's just a little bite, but it could lead to a big issue.
And another thing I also like to add, sometimes people come into town and they get bit by an animal, and you say, I'm not going to turn this in. It's a friend of mine's dog. But if in the back of your mind you feel concerned about it, let's just do the right thing. That way we can prevent the spread of rabies if it's there.
Right. Because
what happens sometimes is a family member here from out of town visiting, and then they leave. We no longer have that member here anymore. We don't know where the dog's at, so turn it in right away. Don't wait a few days, because if the dog's gone, it's going to make it real difficult for me to do my job if the animal's gone. So that is a thing we also experience sometimes with people. I know we want to help the animals and want to do the best for everything. We will, but our number one concern is to stop the spread of rabies. So if you get bit, make sure you turn it in and let us know so we can be professional about it and handle it.
Right. And then the other day we had kind of a warning about bats as well.
Yes, sir.
Don't approach any wild animal, even if you think it's dead.
That is correct. So
don't do that.
So we've had a couple of positive specimens that they were bats, but of course we deal with the top 5 is going to be the bat, the fox, the raccoon, the skunk, and the coyote's the last one. We don't have many of those here, but if you see those things are known top 5 rabies carriers, avoid them. Don't touch them. Because the other thing people don't realize, you could find, let's say a little fox or something, and you pick it up. If you came in contact with that thing, more likely we have to test it. And there's only one way to test for rabies on an animal. You have to euthanize it and send its head off to Austin to get tested. So we don't want to do that. So just avoid contacting. Like I said, the raccoon people, I want to have a little pet raccoon baby.
No, you don't.
Leave it alone, because those little guys will tear up your house. And they'll scratch and tear you up and do all kinds of damage to your home. Leave them be. They're a wild animal. People think they can tame them. They'll claim they tame them, but it's still a wild animal. Just leave them be. And it's not allowed, by the way, in the state of Texas.
We just had somebody get pulled over. We wrote about it yesterday. Raccoon had a meth pipe.
I saw
So
that
it's dangerous. I mean,
that he was playing with the
meth pipe.
paraphernalia. Yes, I saw that video. Where was that? Was it here local?
I think it was in Ohio or something like that. Would not surprise me if somebody in Texas had a raccoon.
Well, you'd be surprised. I get a lot of calls from people. Hey, do you have any baby raccoons? I said, well, no, but why are you asking? Why won't I have as a pet? I said, that's not allowed. Well, why not? I said, well, there's many reasons, but one, it's a known rabies care, and no, you cannot have that now unless you're a rehabber. If you're a licensed rehabber, you can have them, but it's only to rehab them, and once they rehab, they have to release them. But they're not their pets. They also, the ones I've dealt with, they're very professional. And they release the animals. Oh, this one went here, went there. They they were doing great, and it's time for them to go. But no, I don't go to their house and they have like a whole pack of raccoons running around. They release them. Yeah, cannot be your pets.
Right. And let's kind of get to y'all are probably public enemy number one right now. Number two, because we're San Angelo Live, we're public enemy number one.
Sure, we'll take second place.
I think you want second place in this competition. But I've been talking to you for probably 45 minutes, and you just say you're just trying to do your job. You're not trying to piss people off or make them angry. You're just trying to do your job. And if people followed the laws, you wouldn't have. That's correct. You probably wouldn't have a job.
No, that's correct. We would not. But the main thing is get your animal altered. Get him altered. That way he'll quit looking for a mate. Fix your fences. These two things right here would fix a lot of these issues we got going on.
That's what I thought too. Is that if you would just fix your fence, on top of anything, fix your fence. Because in fact, when we lived in Dove Creek, this woman said her daughter took the horse and the dogs down to the low water, and her dog just left the dogs there. Wow. And in Dove Creek, your dog's going to get shot.
Unfortunately, in some of these smaller,
and everybody knew
these smaller vicinities, they do that. They will call and say, "Well, your dog's here and he's dead." It's like, what do you mean? Well, I shot him. He's on my yard, my land. Like,
right.
And we don't here in San Angelo we don't do that I know of, right? But there are people that threaten to do that. So that's another thing. Make sure your pet stays in the yard because some people are just scared. They see a pit bull that seems to be the number one breed in town.
Right. They're all pit mixes at some point.
Yes, quite a bit. It is be quite pit mixes. And of course, another thing also on the bites, by the way. A lot of things that people do is when they meet an animal, we think it's like a stuffed animal, and we put our faces right by it.
I was going to just bring that up.
I was like, please.
When you go to approach an animal, keep your face away from that animal.
And they put their face right by it, and they're petting it, and I'm like, oh, please don't do that. And people will tell you, well, I'm a animal whisperer. It's not a big deal.
You want kisses from the dog? I know what my dog licks. You don't want that.
That's correct, but at the same time, I'm fearful like they're about to. Right. And by the way, it has happened. I mean, you can look up reports of people that what were you doing? Well, I was petting a dog and I got by its face, and next thing you know, it'll have a look in its face, and next thing it bit him in the face, and I'm thinking, well, why would you? You barely met this animal. I said, as humans, you don't just get somebody and start hugging on them and being all super close to them. He's like, hey, back up. The dog cannot speak. He's not able to say it, but he's gonna fortunately either paw at you or bite you, which is what these dogs have done in the past also. Right. So that's another big thing. Do not get right in their face because it's just not recommended. No,
I think we've all seen people get mauled, and it's a terrible thing.
And also another thing is the ones that actually some of your top bite dogs are small dogs. And
I've had more issues with small dogs than I've had big dogs.
And the thing is because people look at them as like, oh, they're small. No big deal. And they grab them and they play with them a little rough, and next thing you know, they get. The reason that the people don't talk about it as much is because the damage is not as bad, but it's still breaking skin. It's on the face, on your hands, and your forearms and stuff. But don't treat that little animal like it's a toy. That's the thing people make a mistake. They grab it already and put it right their face, and then next you know they get bit in the face, and then they drop it. They could hurt the animal. I said treat everything with respect. Don't act like don't think it's a toy because it's not.
Right. All right. Did we miss anything?
No, I think we got it all. I think that, and of course, we talked about the wildlife. We talked about don't touch that wildlife. Leave it alone.
Yeah, don't touch the bats.
Bats are they're number one.
Even livestock. Even like you still have those two goats out there at the shelter.
That's correct.
Gertie, I can't remember the other one's name.
Maybe Gertrude or something. I don't remember.
Something like that. But don't approach those animals either.
No, because they are also mammal, and they do bite, especially if they're starving. We've had horses bite people in the past at the shelter, and there has been cases of rabid horses.
Have you ever been kicked by a horse? I mean.
No, but I've been stepped on. That's it and bit, but never. My God, I mean, it's come close though. And if that thing would have connected, I don't know if I'd be here because
I've been bumped into an electric fence by a horse, and that wasn't fun either.
Wow, we've had cattle that have, and that's the other thing people don't realize about cows. They think they're super friendly, which they are. They're not an aggressive animal, but get around a cow with its baby. they're very aggressive. People don't realize that thing can run you over, and
You go out to Wall and talk to some of them pig farmers. And pigs are aggressive too.
pigs too. And then of course another thing they talk about pigs.
Anything can be aggressive, especially in that situation.
Because everybody wants to pet them and love on, and of course I love it as well. But be cautious. Pay attention to what your surroundings, what's going on, because some people see a cow in a trailer. Oh, you're gonna go in a trailer with that animal, you get crushed to death in there. It doesn't know what's going on. It's gonna start moving.
Hey man, we just had the rodeo here. You've seen what those animals can do.
And of course, and those animals are, I
know those are show animals and that they've been
they're bred to
do that.
What they're doing,
but
yes.
At the end of the day, a bull is still a bull. If it gets frightened or anything and it wants out, it's going to run through your fence. It's going to trample whatever's in the way.
I've had a case where we went out. We had a brand new city truck. We were assisting PD on a call with some cows, and I pinned it. I got the truck up against the fence. And the cow looked, and then he ended up bumping in that truck, put a big old dent in it. And of course, I have to explain to my bosses why that truck a brand new truck has a big old massive dent in the fender.
The rookie was driving.
I said, man, but I didn't expect that to happen. But I was like, wow, that cow. It didn't move the truck, but it sure moved the fender on it quite a bit. But yeah, people don't realize these animals are strong, and we can't just put a lot of people think you just put a lasso on and bring it. I said no. This thing will drag us all over San Angelo. So we caught these cows, we put the lasso on it, look for somewhere maybe like a big pole, and then once it's there, we wear around the pole, and that from there, it can't run from you. But no, I can't just put on and just hold them like that. Not if it doesn't want to be held. That's not going to.
Yeah, and also leave deer alone as well.
What's that?
Leave deer alone as well.
Oh, deer, yes. Deer, that's another animal that's...
people seem to want to domesticate.
There's people that feeding them, and it is wildlife. And the thing is, you're causing them harm. I see a lot of deer right now in the daylight. And that's because people are feeding them, so to them it's become the norm to be out there. I mean, that is your right if you want to do it, but it's not recommended either. We pick it up a lot on the highway right now that have been hit by cars, but they shouldn't be out these times during the day. I've been seeing a few of them here lately.
We had one bounce off the fence, and we had to call the game warden. But I looked at that animal, and you just saw the bugs crawling off it, the ticks and everything. So that's another issue that with wild animals.
Yes, sir.
And even dogs and domestic animals, ticks and
the deer ticks. Yes, those are not good. But we get calls for those. We do remove deer that are unfortunately deceased on the road. That's another job that people don't realize that we do. I don't know if they know that, but we do pick them up as well.
See, I'm in the county. I didn't have that luxury. I had to call the game warden.
The game warden picks them up for real?
He did not pick. I don't think he picked it up, but he certainly took care of it, and I had to take care of it.
That is, yes, sir. Unfortunately, they do take care of it, and then from there we usually pick it up. But yeah, that is a luxury. I wish that.
Best thing, he said that he's seen issues where a deer's had its head completely turned around, and it's still walking and moving around.
Oh, I've seen them with all 4 broken legs, and we get there, and I'm like, oh my God, how's this animal moving? And they're like, well, I don't know, but are you gonna do something about it? I said. So I'll call the game warden, and they'll do what they need to do, and then they remove the body.
Bring out that 22.
But I was really amazed. I said, "How is that animal moving?" But it saw me and started scooting, and all 4 legs were just flailing. I said, "Oh wow!" And I believe he a little cricket. That's what he used on that little poor deer. But it
it's suffering.
There's no way that animal's going to survive, and that's the thing. Some people don't realize. They're like, "Oh, you're going to help?" I was like, "They don't have
the best way we can."
I don't believe they have any help for this. I mean, these are compound fractures. Even more than that because they're completely detached. They're just no. I don't think we can. But unfortunately, we can't save them all. We like to, but no, that's not something.
I think everybody would like to. And in a perfect world, you would be able to, but this is an imperfect world.
Yes, sir. That's correct. Unfortunately, it is.
But at the end of the day, take care of your animals. Take care of your fences. Take care of your
and educate each other.
Gates and educate people, and then maybe we can cut down on the amounts of stray animals and.
Yes,
animal
sir.
bites and everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But did you want to say anything else before we?
No, nothing. We're good.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Back to you guys.
In news, our very own Lucas Banda went and spoke with someone at Longhorn Steakhouse and learned that construction will be finished at the location at the end of summer or early fall. Then Longhorn will take over, and they're looking to hire over 100 people to staff the location.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
That's awesome. And the Western Roundup is tomorrow at the Riverstage in San Angelo, and you can get your tickets on stubwire.com. Cody Cannon, The Departed, Shane Smith and the Saints, Dylan Wheeler, Tristan Grays, Shay Abster and the Night Howlers, and Gage and the Reese Monkeys will be playing from 2 o'clock until 11:30 tomorrow afternoon. 5 recipients are going to be getting all the proceeds from this concert.
5 recipients, and I don't think you guys understand. Shane Smith, and then Cody Canada.
They just got together. He's got together with Cross Canadian Ragweed again.
He just got back together with Cross Canadian Ragweed,
Right.
and that was humongous. And now he's coming back to San Angelo to perform for these cancer recipients.
And I think both Cody Canada and Shane Smith have posted videos about saying they're going to be in San Angelo.
They have, and it's going to be huge. So we better see you guys out there.
We better see
We'll
you
be
guys
out
out
there.
there. We will be out there. Now, I did go out and grab some videos of the 5 recipients at the Western Roundup. We've already seen Mallory Campos, Connor Barnes, and Carly Joe Johnson. So here is Ray Cook and Robert Laster.
I love my family and my friends deeply. I love them with all my heart. My name is Ray Cook, and I was diagnosed with kidney cancer in October of 22, and it reoccurred in May of 24, and it's they took my right kidney out, and it spread, and I can't take any chemo right now because it's not working for me, but it's pretty painful. Well, I'm 76 years old, and I worked up until a year and a half ago. So I was working until I was 74, and now I'm not working, and so there's not much I can do. I used to walk several miles a day. Now I'm down to maybe walking a half a mile if I can walk that much. I enjoy meeting people and like being around people, but I can't be around many of them because I'm immune compromised. So that's pretty much, you know, what it is, and I can't play with my granddaughter much because nobody can pretty much get that close to me because we're afraid of getting something. It's been pretty bad. No job, not being able to walk 15 miles a day, not being able to see all my friends. Now, the only thing that has helped me is God's been with me, and He's blessed me every day since I've had it. It's drawn me closer to Jesus. Be still and know that I am God.
Where did you work?
Walmart.
Oh yeah? Which Walmart?
29th Street. 29th Street. Worked there 17 years. Yeah. And I worked at Goodville Air Force Base and retired from there in 2015, I believe. I was in the Army. I was a supply sergeant. I'm thankful for all my friends that are supporting us and helping us out. We really need the help. We've had, like I said, we've had a pretty rough time. You know, when I was working and drawing Social Security, we were pretty able to do well enough. But now, you know, with the medication and, you know, co-pays for hospitals, because I've been to hospital 3 times since January. So it's been pretty rough. Well, I love my family and my friends deeply. I love them with all my heart.
I know you've already said something about your lovely wife, but what does it mean having that support system in the house with you?
Wow, it means everything. I couldn't have got through it without her. Robert Lasater. I'm 62 years old, and I've been diagnosed with stage 4 renal carcinoma that has masticated to my spine back in late November, early December. I had been being seen by my family doctor thinking I had a bad sciatic nerve, and when my wife and I went out to eat one night, my legs just quit working.
I'm still loving you, so lay your head down. I'll breathe in, breathe out.
So my wife rushed me to the emergency room, and come to find out after all my scans and everything that I had a mass on my kidney and a mass on my spine, and it had deteriorated my spine to the point that I couldn't walk anymore. And that's when we found out about all that. And then over the next 10 days, I had 2 major back surgeries so I could start trying to walk again. We never knew if I was going to be able to walk again, which, thank the Lord, I can. Over the next several months, my wife, being a godsend, was able to help me do everything I needed to do during the day, from helping me get dressed, helping me in the shower, and go from a walker to a cane, and then finally being able to walk.
Darling, you could leave me.
And then over the next several months, being able to start back to work, just a few hours every day, to where now fortunately I'm able to work full time. I've got great support from my family, and like I say, especially my wife Tracy, great support from tons of friends, great place that's taking care of me at work. It's been a lot getting over the back surgery, not been able to pick up the grandkids to where now I can hold my grandkids. And, we just thank God every day that everything's working out. I will have to have one more surgery to remove half of my kidney, and then hopefully we'll be done with the surgeries. I'm about 6 treatments in, and the doctor and the staff at Shannon have been taking super good care of me. We're looking at, he's thinking roughly 1 more year of treatments, and if everything goes good, and everything will hopefully be done with it. But you live day by day is all we do. It starts out extremely rough, shocks the whole family, but it gets better every day. So we just keep fighting the fight, and thanking everybody that's been on our support team.
Over and over again. So live life in love. Lay your worries aside. I will love you over and over again.
And I would like to send out mine and Tracy's love to all the family, all the friends, everybody that's been back there helping us out, everyone that's helping with the events that are coming up, and just tons of support, and all of our love goes out to everybody.
And again, we better see y'all out there at the Riverstage tomorrow.
We will get into weather right after a message from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
In the weather, we have a 10% chance of thunderstorms. We don't expect any rain here tonight. The low is around 53.
Tomorrow will be sunny with a high of 79 for the concert. Keep in mind, no rain in sight. A perfect day, everyone. Tomorrow's night drops down to 49.
It's like everything's just lining up.
Perfectly, I would say.
On Sunday, the high is 81 and the low gets down to 49. And on Monday, things start to heat up to 90 with a low around 66.
And we will be right back after a quick word from Kano's Diamonds and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley.
Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And download the San Angelo Live mobile app.
For the live team, I'm James Bellini.